It is safe to say that winter has officially set in here. It has been so cold, and I know when we have weather like this, there is nothing quite like a bowl of steaming hot comfort food. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing two brand new recipes. One is a delicious cheeseburger soup, and the second one is really special. It is chicken and dumplings using a few shortcuts, and I have to say, this is my favorite recipe yet. Y'all stick around because you are not gonna wanna miss a bite. So this recipe is cheeseburger soup. I have made another version of this, but I have a little bit of ground beef that I browned up for another recipe the other day, so I thought this would be the perfect way to get this used up. So I just have that set to the side for now. And then I have a large pot here where I'm just melting 2 tablespoons of butter. To the pot, I have my little mirepoix, that's my favorite word, just some diced onion, carrot, and celery. We're gonna add that in with our butter. And we're just gonna let this cook down and saute probably 15 minutes or so, just until these veggies start to soften up a little bit. I'm gonna pop a lid on mine just to help them soften just a little bit quicker. All right, our veggies are starting to soften up a little bit. Now we're gonna go ahead and add some minced garlic. All right, let's give that a stir. Let that saute for just another minute. This smells so good. I cannot cook celery, carrots, onion, and garlic without saying that. It's my favorite. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and add in our potatoes. This is about 4 russet potatoes that we peeled and chopped. Now we're just going in with 32 ounces of chicken broth. May or may not add a little bit more chicken broth because these potatoes were kind of big. We want our potatoes to be down in this liquid so they can cook. They're pretty much covered. I might add just another half cup or so. Yeah, let's just add just a little bit more to make sure everything's nice and covered. And add a little salt. And a little black pepper. All right, I'm gonna give everything a stir and go ahead and turn my stove up to medium high. Bring this to a bowl, and we're just gonna boil these for probably 20-25 minutes until our potatoes are tender. Our potatoes are pretty much tender. So over here to a separate bowl, I'm adding 1 cup of milk. To the milk, I'm gonna add about 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. This is gonna help make our soup really thick and creamy. And grab my whisk. I'm just gonna whisk that around in there. All right, I have turned our soup down to low, but we are still just kind of boiling away over here. So now we're gonna go ahead and add in this cornstarch slurry. Add in about half. Let's give it a stir. The other half. It's already looking good. I mean, this just looks like a really good potato vegetable soup at this point. Now the recipe says just to bring this back up to a boil and boil for another 2 minutes. All right, as you can see, we have really thickened up nicely. So this is not cheeseburger soup by any means so far. So we're gonna add about 3 cups of freshly shredded sharp cheddar cheese. Just gonna get this added in. Give it a quick little stir and get this cheese all nice and melted in here. I have my stove on about low right now. And then next, I'm gonna go ahead and bring over the ground beef that I previously cooked, and I did season this the other day with like a burger seasoning, so that will be perfect. So as that cheese continues to melt, we'll get our burger heated back up. And then lastly, we're gonna go ahead and add another cup of milk. And we're just gonna let this simmer for, I don't know, maybe 10 more minutes or so. Of course, we will check again to see if we need to add any seasonings. But so far, this is looking delicious. You can top with whatever you want. They listed like pickles and everything like that. Red onion would be good. I think we're just gonna go with a little extra cheese. Maybe a few bacon bits. And there we go, cheeseburger soup. This is super creamy, lots of veggies in there, and something different too. Stir in that cheese and bacon. This would be really good, like I said, pretty much any kind of burger toppings that you'd want. You could serve this up with some nice warm rolls. Really good wintertime meal. This recipe is called Lazy Day Chicken and Dumplings, and you could not have a more perfect cozy recipe for the wintertime. This is so good. And this recipe just happens to be on page 61 of my cookbook, Repeat Worthy Dinners. I'll have this down in the description box. We're gonna tweak it just a little bit today, and I'll tell you why here in just a second, but here it is, this recipe. You cannot beat it. I called it Lazy Day Chicken and Dumplings because there is a shortcut in here that I'm gonna show you, but this recipe is perfect to put on when you just wanna have a lazy day or if you have a busy day. Either way, this is good. First going in, we have about 2 or 3 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. These are some pretty small chicken breasts, so I'm going with 3. Next, we're gonna go ahead and season up our chicken. So I'm gonna use a little bit of lemon pepper on mine. I actually made this recipe over the weekend. We went camping at Ocean Lakes and it was super cold the whole weekend. So I was in the mood to cook all the cozy, warm meals. And this is one of the meals I cooked. I'm also going in with a little bit of poultry seasoning. Sprinkle some in. But yes, I made this while we were camping and it was so good. So perfect for a cold day. And I didn't film it camping, so I knew when I got home, I had to film it again to share this with y'all because you're gonna wanna make this. All right, next I'm just gonna add in, this is about half a chopped onion. You could do half or a whole. I'm just gonna place it right on top of our chicken. And the one thing I'm gonna change in here, if you are cooking along with me, if you've already grabbed your cookbook, I'm not adding any veggies in here. And I'm gonna add a little splash of something else, but you can add whatever veggies you want. Peas and carrots will be perfect in here if you have some frozen. It listed out in the recipe in the cookbook. You just throw them in there. Super easy, but like I said, when we were camping, I didn't add anything, and y'all, I love vegetables, but sometimes I just like something kind of plain, you know? Like sometimes you're just in the mood for that. Next, I'm just gonna add about 3 tablespoons of butter. Next, I have about 2.5 cups of chicken broth right here. And I also have 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. I'm actually gonna mix my cream of chicken soup into my broth. It's just a little bit easier to kind of pour over everything, but my recipe in my cookbook calls for cream of chicken and cream of celery. Either one is fine. All right, again, we're just adding 2.5 cups of chicken broth and 2 cans of cream of chicken. Just gonna pour that over top. And now all we're gonna do right now is cook this on high for about 2 to 3 hours until our chicken is cooked through. So once your chicken is cooked through, I like to just pull my chicken breast completely out of my crock pot, and I like to just chop those up into kind of smaller bite-sized pieces. I know a lot of people will say, Jen, you could just shred it up in your crock pot using 2 forks or even a mixer, but for this particular recipe, I'd rather have bite-sized pieces than like shreds of chicken, if that makes sense. But whatever your preference is, go ahead and do that and pop it back into your slow cooker. All right, so this is the part that I kind of switched up a little bit, but it was so good, I knew I wanted to do it again. So we have our chopped chicken back in our broth and our butter and our seasonings. So at the beach, I was thinking I only had 1 can of cream of chicken soup, so I did have some heavy cream in our fridge. So I added that in here to kind of up the creaminess factor. And then I found another can of cream of chicken soup. but with that added heavy cream in there, I thought it was delicious. So we're just gonna add maybe about 1/4 of a cup to a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. I'm just gonna go ahead and use what's left of that. We're gonna give it a stir. And I swear this just added, like I said, a little bit more creaminess, and it almost makes the broth and everything taste like a chowder. It's delicious with those dumplings, especially on a cool night. It is perfect. Now, we're gonna add some biscuit dough dumplings. It's gonna thicken up this broth a little bit. Let me show you how we're gonna slice those up to add on top. So this has been cooking on high, probably about 3.5 hours. And for the last 1.5 hours is when you're gonna add your dumplings to the top. So for this last hour to 1.5 hours, we're gonna cook our dumplings, and these are just the butter tasting biscuits. You can use any kind of biscuit that you want, but all you're gonna do is, I like to half my biscuits and then slice each little half into about 1/2 inch little strips. That is gonna make your dumpling. And all you're gonna do, we've already started doing it a little bit, you're just gonna lay your dumplings right on top of your broth and everything. And you want to leave these on top so that way they can cook, since they are in here with all the liquid and everything, and they will still be a dumpling consistency, obviously, since that's what we're going for, but they should not be doughy at the end of this. So you're just gonna continue to take all your little dumplings, lay them on top, and we're gonna continue cooking this on high for another hour, 1.5 hours, until all of these dumplings are set. Alrighty, y'all, our biscuit dumplings have been cooking for probably another couple hours. Honestly, we were gone for a little bit, so they got a little bit brown, but look how thick it has thickened up just on its own. Adding our dumplings in there, look how good this looks. Tell me this does not look delicious. Big old bowl of this on a cold night. This is the perfect dinner. And you could really thin this out if you wanted to with a little bit more chicken broth, or even just a touch more of that heavy cream. I think I'm just gonna add just a touch heavy cream in mine. And stir that in. If you don't have heavy cream, you could probably even just use a little bit of milk as well. But these are so perfect. I can't get over how good these are. All right, y'all, I'm so ready to eat. This looks delicious. All that nice tender chicken in there. Like I said, you can add whatever veggies you like to this. I'll also have my cookbook linked down below. Have those dumplings in there. They're still soft in the middle. They look so good. I'm about to douse this bowl in black pepper. You gotta have that, but y'all make sure you grab that cookbook and give this one a try. If you loved today's video, I'm gonna have this video right here on the screen. I think you'll really enjoy that one as well. I'll see you over there, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.